Okay. Uh, so people think the hardest obstacle is failure. For me, it was success. It really was. Um, because success kept me performing, even when I was empty. And by that, I mean, even when it didn't bring me any type of gratification or long term gratification or any feeling of fulfillment. Um, I had 4 degrees, I had a relatively good career by the standards, 6-figure career, some recognition in my field. I mean, technically, I was doing well, right? But inside, I felt disconnected. But what did I do? I still kept performing. I kept going and doing. And I told myself internally, push through, keep acquiring, keep getting, keep going forward, be strong, always look put together, even if you don't have a dime, show up, spend money, buy things, charge up things. Don't let anyone see the cracks. Because when you're a strong black woman who's been conditioned to show up as a strong black woman, that's what you do. And that was my obstacle. The belief that my worth, my value came from holding it all together, from showing up like everything was great. It's kind of like planning a birthday party. You have balloons, you have the cake, you have decorations, you have all that stuff. And all of it is essentially for somebody else to enjoy. And when the music starts and people are laughing, drinking, partying, enjoying, you don't even realize, or you realize that you don't even want to be there. You're there physically, but emotionally, you're disconnected. And there's a sense of it not being real. That's how it felt. That's what success, my success at the time felt like. Things look good on the outside. Didn't look perfect, but they look good for the most part. And if you didn't ask, I'm proud about what was going on with me. I didn't share. And to be honest with you, most people don't. They ask you how you're doing, you say you're okay, you don't look like you're dying. They move on. So unless you're someone who is really um, deeply connected to me, and which weren't too many, and even when I wouldn't share, you know, I looked so to my point, I looked good on the outside, but I couldn't feel or I felt very little on the inside. And to be real with you, I didn't even go to any of my graduations, bachelor's all the way, because I thought because I was so conditioned, it didn't even feel like it was worth celebrating. And I remember when I would even hear that, you know, they had graduation ceremonies for kindergartners, which I mean, to me, it's still a little extra, but hey, I'd be like, what the heck? You know, for someone who never felt deeply enough or felt connected to enough to celebrate any success. Um, yeah, so the truth is, though, that I thought ultimately, if I didn't do these things, I'd feel light, and it didn't change anything. It didn't change the emptiness underneath. So, what happened though was the day that I actually named the belief that my attach my worthiness, my value, my sense of purpose came from me doing, came from me accomplishing everything. Many things changed. I'd like to say everything, but not everything. But a lot of things changed. And the changes compounded into many things. It wasn't, I realized that it wasn't the schedule that I had set myself up with that was burning me out or just making me feel heavy and disconnected. It was the mask that I'd worn that once I unhooked from the need to perform, once I unhooked from the need to do things, to always look a certain way, to curate essentially the way I was living my life, I finally sighed. It was like, there's this, even just now, my shoulders, I feel it. My shoulders dropped. It was like, wow, I can be. I don't need to perform. I don't need to do anything else. I can be just who I am and be loved and be worthy just as I am. So, my question to you is, if you've ever felt like being strong was the obstacle holding you back, drop a with you in the chat. If you've ever felt that the way you were being, not being, the way you were showing up, the things you were doing was counter acting, I don't know, maybe that's not the word, was interfering with who you wanted to be. That's what I mean. Let me know. Because the real obstacle is never, never internal. You think it is. And so you do initially when you're doing things and you get the high and you continue to do and you stop getting that high or that feeling of accomplishment that's very temporary, very fleeting, you start to think, maybe if I do more, maybe if I do this, maybe if I lose weight, maybe if I get another degree, maybe if I buy a house, maybe if I travel, maybe if I get married, maybe if I get married again, maybe if I do da 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 da. So you think it's external. But what really makes that shift was really helps you to disconnect and get the fulfillment that you're really seeking for is the internal agreement that you eventually have to make with yourself. And that is really disconnecting, unhooking, as I like to say, from I have to perform to matter. You really need to internalize it. You matter just as you are. And your sense of worthiness, value is not connected to doing. You are worthy just being who you are. So when you keep that belief, you keep chase the belief that I perform, I have to perform to matter. You basically keep chasing the next win, the next goal, the next title, the next designer, whatever it is that it is for you. But nothing ever feels enough, and nothing will ever feel enough. Conversely, when you break it, when you're hooked from it, when it's exposed and aired out, you start creating a life that feels good, not just externally, but internally. You start creating a life that feels as good as it looks on the outside. And that's the difference. This is what I want to leave you with between existing and actually living life. So, my question is, what's an obstacle that you've carried that people don't see on the outside? For me, the obstacle was success. I carried it until I didn't carry it anymore. What's your obstacle? Because my biggest obstacle wasn't about effort, it was the strong black woman trap, the mask that kept me pretending, performing, and just doing all the things. But once I saw it, I refused to live that way. And that's kind of the stance that I took and I'm taking now. And that's what fuels me and empowers me to do what I'm doing. So tomorrow I'm going to share the belief that guides what I do, my work, how I live my life, because I've had to embody it to be able to share and to make a difference and to contribute as I'm doing here and in all the other spaces that I occupy. And why that belief changed everything or changes everything and how it will change everything for you. So I shall see you tomorrow. Remember to comment and let me know um, what obstacle you're carrying or that you carried that people don't see on the outside. And of course, I'm going to invite you to download the High Achievers Guide. It has 3 simple shifts, potent shifts that you can experience in as little as, I mean, once you engage with the guide, right, you really get to see what is happening beyond what you think and it just gives you a chance to go internal, deeper. If you're someone who's spiritual or introspective or reflective or metacognitive, you really connect with this. And if you're not, but you're still wondering why, despite all the successes, all the things that are happening in your life that should be making you feel better, you don't feel better. And in some cases, they won't feel worse. The guide is for you. The link you see below. And I'll see you tomorrow. Take care.